Wow, welcome to Legacy 2022. Amazing.
Yes, we are here.
Wow, welcome to Legacy 2022.
So excited to be here.
Amazing,
It's a joy
amazing,
to be here.
amazing. We're so glad that you've joined us. If you're watching us right now online, we're so glad that you're here.
So excited.
Yes, yes, yes. I am Nibariri, and I'm ably joined by my wonderful friend Samuel Ekundayo and Wendy Burns, who is an amazing coach, someone that I consider more than a friend now. I consider a partner. So, welcome to Legacy 2022, and welcome to you, Dr. Sam and Wendy Burns. God bless you. Wow.
Great to see you, Dr. Nee. Great to see you, Wendy. It's such a joy to be here. I've looked forward to this day. I'm excited about this day. I know that it's going to be an amazing time in God's presence. It's going to be an amazing few days that we're going to be spending together, life-changing one. Wendy, what about you?
Oh, I'm absolutely thrilled. I have such an excitement in my spirit. We have waited. It almost brings tears to my eyes because I see the vision and the mission that we have come to fruition tonight, and how excited I am. I just want to celebrate with everybody. This is just, I feel like I want to say, buckle up, buckle yourself into
Yes.
your seat, because we
Yes.
are about to lift off, and it is going to be spectacular.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Legacy 2022 is going to be a transformative meeting. And I'm telling you, this is more than just any ordinary conference. We've got specially packed and well incubated sessions that will transform your life, literally transform your life. And that's why
Absolutely.
we are so excited about this. We had a vision, and this vision was so clear about building leaders that will not just live for today, but that will live for tomorrow. But that's what
Mhm.
legacy is about taking people, men and women, on a journey of leadership, building legacy as well. And that's exactly what we're really called to do. And that's why we are here. And we're so honored that you have joined us, connecting with us right now. So we're happy wherever you are all over the world. We want to celebrate you. So please let us know where you are joining us, where you're watching us from. All right. We're going to be kicking off with the first speaker very soon. So just let us know where you're connecting with us from. I'm living in Sydney. I'm connecting from Sydney. And Dr. Sam, where are you from right
I'm
now?
from Auckland, New Zealand.
Auckland.
I'm
And
excited
Wendy?
to be here.
And I'm in Darwin, the top end of Australia. So
Wow.
we are scattered everywhere, and we are really excited that you are here. And we're going to kick off with our first speaker tonight, who is just going to set you on fire, ready for the whole conference. So just can't wait for you to hear what is about to happen. So excited to be here and
Amazing.
share a little bit of ourselves as well with you.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes.
Let me just acknowledge Mr. Zachariah. I think I the Zachariah that I know, Mr. Zachariah Lanka. Thank you for connecting with us. Please just team, let me know. Let me see those who are joining us. Let's just appreciate a few
We see a
people.
lot of people, yes, joining us
Yes.
from Benin Republic. You wouldn't believe that. From
Amazing.
Australia,
From
from
Africa,
Canada, from Port Harcourt in Nigeria,
Wow.
from Togo,
Nairobi,
from
Kenya.
Ghana.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. A lot of people from
Amazing.
all
Wow.
over the world today. From
Wow.
Istanbul, Turkey as well, too. Isn't that
Yeah, from
Yeah.
awesome?
Auckland, New Zealand. Wow.
Yeah.
From Adelaide as well. We've got some more Australians happening here, which is great
That's great.
as
That's great.
well.
That's great. Well, guys, let me just share with you, one or two things before we get into the cross of today's um, um, session. About 2 years ago, I was just there working hard, and that was just before COVID hit. For those who do not know me, I'm a neurologist, and so pretty much what I do on a daily basis is to treat patients and to help people get better, particularly those who have neurological conditions. And so, just after COVID hit, I just felt a sense in my heart that I needed to do more for my community. And who better, who else could I have reached out to, than to my very good friend Samuel Ekundayo. And of course, he brought me through to the John Maxwell team, invited me, it got me someone to, if I got me a very good discount to join the John Maxwell team. Going through that journey, I joined the John Maxwell team, and there was this day I was on a phone call. It was a coaching call, I think, with Wendy Burns, and I just, got, attracted to what she was saying, and I reached out to her afterwards, and before you know it, we just hit it off and had a few coaching sessions with her, and I'm glad that the two of them are with me today, putting this program together. I want to celebrate both of you. You guys, in the last 2 years, I'm not sure I can count a lot of other people who have impacted my life that much. So, Wendy, you're an amazing woman, a wonderful coach, and I'm glad that we're doing this together. For you, Sam, we're confident friends, and I'm glad that you're by my side doing this together, reaching out to people, blessing lives. And I know that this is going to be the beginning of greater exploits. So we're ready. We are ready. We are ready.
Awesome. And thank you for sharing that story. It almost brought tears to my eyes as well, because I remember just a few years ago, we were having these sort of conversations that to do something like this. I mean, they were just still ideas then, just brimming from our spirits and our hearts, to do something for our people, to help, people, harness their potential and become all that God has created them to be. And look at us today, to the glory of God. Those things that were just that seemed mere ideas then are coming to fruition, and I'm so grateful to God for Wendy being a part of this as well. Wendy, such a joy to have you here. We honor, we value you, we celebrate you, and thank you for being a part of this team. You are an invaluable part of this team, and we love you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sam.
Wendy, do you want to make one or two comments?
I was just going to say that Dr. Nee rang me, and he shared his vision and for legacy, and it just so ignited what was in my heart that I said, yes, I'm in. I didn't need to know anything else except, yes, this was definitely what we needed to be doing. And when a vision is real and when a mission is real, there's no question. It just ignites something within you. And that's the passion that we have. And that is the passion that we have to create legacy. And so that's why this is a gift to you. This is not a money-making expedition. That's the one thing that we all agreed upon. This is not about making money. This is about impacting lives. This is our legacy, right? This is exactly what we're doing. We're creating legacy by impacting lives, the lives of those that join us at this conference. And so it's just an honor and a privilege. I don't know two men that have higher integrity and higher value of serving others than these two men that are sitting in front of me, Dr. Nee and Dr. Sam. And I feel like I'm sitting in a room with giants tonight. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Wendy.
Thank you for that. All right. Well, we've got to move on right now. Our first speaker is ready to open up the conference, and we're, hoping and believing that we're going to be inspired, transformed, and our lives will be, set ablaze, set on fire. Now, before we bring her up, I'll just like to say that in this conference, we've got 5 sessions, and today is the first session. All right. Now, we're not using days, even though the program will run for 3 days. We're not going to be referring to it as day 1, day 2, day 3, because because of the time difference. So we have 5 sessions. Today is session 1, and that's going to be headlined by Mrs. Jumoke Adenowo. Tomorrow we have 2 sessions. Tomorrow I mean Australian time right now, but I'm probably up already. All right, but session two for those of you who live in Europe, for those who live in Africa and the United States, session 2 will still be today for you. For those of us who live down under and in New Zealand, it's going to be day 2 for us. So session 2, please check the website, check the links that we've sent to you, or just subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you can get notifications when we go live. All right, we have 2 sessions, 2 talks on session 2, a conversation between Dr. Samuel Kundayo and Debola Deji-Kurumi, and then a keynote by Fela Drotoye. And then for session 3, we have Wendy, who will be leading an amazing panel of women as they discuss shaping your legacy. Session 4 is exclusive, though. It's a VIP session, and we'll talk about that later, about how you can be a part of that. And session 5 is the grand finale. That will be
Yes.
No other than John Maxwell.
So please keep this in mind. Share the links. You're allowed, even though some of your friends and family members may not have registered. please share the links on all platforms. Share it on your Facebook page, your WhatsApp status, your WhatsApp groups,
Yes.
everywhere. Instagram. And shout out to those who are listening to us right now on radio. Thousands of people, I'm sure, on Mixlr. Shout out to you guys, and those who are also watching us on
LinkedIn.
Yes, we appreciate you. We may not be able to get through to your comments, but we appreciate all of you. So the time has come to bring this wonderful, amazing woman up for
Shall we pray quickly, please? Shall we pray and just prayerfully open up the conference? I recall that we haven't actually done that, if that's okay. All right. Father, Lord, we thank you. We bless your name. We give you praise because this is the day that you have made. Your word says we'll rejoice and be glad in it. This is the beginning of something great in our lives and, of course, in the life of everyone watching and those that have registered for this conference who may not be able to watch live and will watch later. You have set this day in your heart way before the foundations of the earth because of the lives of the people that you are about to change and destinies that you're about to transform. Father, we ask that you will come and do that which you alone can do today. We ask that your presence will ravish us, your presence will overshadow us. We ask that you would touch lives. We ask that you transform destinies. We ask that everything will work together for our good today. We ask that everyone present today would come with an expectation and a heart to receive from you. We ask that every speaker will speak as your oracle. We ask that your word become alive, sharp, and powerful today in the name of Jesus. We give you praise and we thank you. In Jesus' mighty name, amen and amen and amen.
All right. So we're going to introduce our first speaker right now, Mrs. Jumoke Adenowo.
Jumoke Adenowo is a multiple award-winning architect with over 3 decades of industry experience. Described as Africa's starchitect and trailblazer when profiled by CNN and BBC, she is one of Africa's most outstanding architects and the only female in this elite category. Jumoke is the principal partner of the multi-award-winning architecture firm, AD Consulting. She is also the founder of Awesome Treasures Foundation, a faith-based philanthropic organization which has been recognized by the United Nations and is established on 3 continents with initiatives impacting millions. She is an alumnus of a number of prestigious institutions, including the Harvard Kennedy School of Government, the Yale School of Management, the IESE Business School, amongst others. Jumoke is the pioneer recipient of the New African Woman in Business Award, and she also won the Forbes Woman African Entrepreneur Award 2020. She is a visiting professor at Germany's leading architecture program. She has spoken at several global platforms, including the Global Women's Forum, Harvard Business School's Africa Business Club, Cambridge University's African Society, and Solve MIT's flagship conference for global thought leaders and innovators. Since 2011, she has hosted her own syndicated radio program, Voice of Change, on leadership. Jumoke has authored several books, including Lifespring, The Mysterious Seed, Appointment with Destiny, and Beyond My Dreams. She is married to Olukorede and they are blessed with 2 men. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Jumoke Adenowo to Legacy Conference 2022.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah, so we're going to bring her up right now. Hello, Mrs. Adenowo. How are you?
Hello.
I'm fine. I'm decent. Good evening. Good evening, Australia. Good evening around the world. Wendy, it's always such a pleasure to see you. I'm sure Dr. Lee knew you had to be here if I'm to smile, so.
They tell me they can't do this without me, so I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Sam, Dr. Nee. Thank you so much for the invitation to Legacy Conference 2022. Thank you, everyone joining from all around the world, because we'll just be talking to ourselves if you weren't here. So you're such a key part of Legacy 2022. And I am so impressed by you, the fact that you have decided to invest in your own personal journey. It is a very wise man, a very wise woman who decides that they are going to do what it takes to become a better version of themselves. So I appreciate you for having the wisdom to say, if it's going to be a better future for me, It's up to me. I thank you for taking personal responsibility for your own future. How amazing. You could be spending this evening, this afternoon, this morning, wherever you're tuning in from, all over the world, doing anything else, but you decided that you are worth it. Your future is worth it. And that Legacy 2022 conference holds for you something that you don't have already. Now it is with that attitude that I want you to approach this conference, as the amazing speakers are going to be coming on board. And you know, those we're expecting has been discussed before I came on board. So I'm just going to, in advance, appreciate the speakers that are coming after me and saying, I am so honored to be the opening feature, should I say, in such an amazing lineup. Thank you. So I have the responsibility of opening this awesome conference by talking about the priority of generational, of transgenerational leadership. And there are two ways to look at it. I didn't do too badly in English, so I look at it as, it could be a question and it could be a statement. It could be, what is the priority of transgenerational leadership? Or it could be a statement, know for sure that generational leadership is priority, and this is why. So, two things I want to establish first. Why do we have conferences like this? Why do we go to all this cost and then make it free sometimes, or just charge a token? Why is it so important to put together conferences like this? Because there is power in knowledge. I don't know who said, maybe interestingly, it can be Einstein, but one of the literary giants said, a mind once transformed, once stretched, can never regain its original dimensions. Once you stretch your mind, you can never unhear what you've heard. You can never. 20% of what we remember is what we hear. The other 80 is what we see, and we'll come to that. So at least you are taking care of a good 20%. So take notes, revisit and revisit. You can't think that you can remember everything you hear at once. It's not possible. The pen and paper are mightier than the memory. So I'm just setting the tone for those coming behind me. And also, with so many mighty people coming, you just want to be the one who is the rap artist, because they're going to come and see everything anyway. So I'm hoping, how many minutes have passed? Very much. I'm burning the minutes. Anyway, but I'm serious now. Setting the tone. Setting the tone. Why? Why must we have transgenerational leadership? Number one, what is important about transgenerational leadership? Because number one, every vision is greater than the visionary. Every vision is greater than the visionary. It does not matter what kind of vision you have, right? If it's a vision worth its salt, it must be greater than you. Point one. Point two, if it is greater than you, it follows then that it will outlive you. It must outlive you if it's going to be greater than you. Those who became the founding fathers of America are long gone. They're long gone. We remember Benjamin Franklin. These are polymaths, multi-talented men. Thomas Jefferson. They are long gone, but America continues to survive in one form or the other after they're gone, years, centuries after, because their vision outlived them. Mohandas Gandhi is gone, but his non-violence, his legacy, his ideology outlives him. We are born men. Some take on a mandate, and then the mandate becomes a movement. And then when you get maybe upset with the movement and think, oh, it's too much, maybe the government comes against the movement, maybe conspiracies come against the movement, and then you even go as far as to assassinate the leader of the movement. The movement, if it's strong enough, if there's a transgenerational intent behind the movement, The movement only translates or transmits or metamorphoses to an ideology, which means if you are aware of the transgenerational nature of your mandate, it cannot be killed. When they kill you, they only liberate that vision to become an ideology. An ideology that Gandhi can start, then he can die. And Martin Luther King will look at it and say, I can do that. I can do it exactly that same way. That is transgenerational leadership. Birthed in India, in the bosom of a frail Indian man. Put into action in Alabama, in Tennessee, decades after, by yet another. If it remained a vision, if it remained just a mandate, if it did not become ideology, it cannot become transferable. For your vision to be transferable, can you write that down? Transferable. For your vision to be applicable, for your vision to be adaptable, it must be transgenerational. Transgenerational leadership is priority because you must realize that your leadership, your legacy is not for just this generation. Other generations, if it is worth it at all, other generations must benefit from it. Which is why we do things like write books. Which is why we begin to institutionalize the things that we do. So if we say that a vision must be transgenerational, what do we do to make sure that our legacy is actually transcends our generation? When I looked around, I began to be interested in leadership very, very early as a young African woman or girl. I was a girl. I was actually a child when I began to wonder why my own country is full of such resourceful people. It's so loaded with every kind of resource you can think about. Honestly, I mean, we're talking natural resources, and the greatest natural resource of any African country is actually the people. The human resources of every African country, they're actually the people. I said when I was being made the new African Businesswoman of the Year years ago, I said until our leaders in Africa begin to recognize and know, acknowledge, it dawns on them that the real natural resources of Africa, it's not the cobalt, it's not the diamonds, it's not the gold, it's not the petroleum. It is the human resources of Africa. And we begin to concentrate on developing the human resources. Till then, Africa will never really fulfill its true potential. So, if we know, how come then the great leaders of Africa have come, they've gone, and the continent has become like this? There's so many. We can say Kwame Nkrumah in Ghana. We say Obafemi Awolowo in Nigeria. We say South Africa, Nelson Mandela. How long has it been that Mandela died and South Africa is what it is today? We say even the founding fathers of America, or we go to Theodore Roosevelt, or we talk about John Kennedy. What happened? I don't want to go for anybody's jugular, and I do not want to step on anybody's toes. You know what I'm saying? But America, if someone can run on the platform of making America great again, and then we know what he himself did with America, then we know that it's not the America that the founding fathers envisioned. What then happens? What happens? There is a lack of continuity. We have star leaders who come and we write books about them. We have the Mandela effect. We have books reading about their styles of leadership. And then they die and it is gone. Without legacy, without transgenerational leadership, we will keep having solo acts who come and stun all of us. But when you stun all of us and you move through life like that comet, like Hurley's comet, and then you are gone, What do we do when you are gone? What happens to your vision? So actually, we have leaders, even at the best, who are like movie stars if there is no continuity. One man shows all over. What can we do? What is the solution? How come we have these great leaders that we all come around and celebrate and then they're gone and it's done? And the entire system, be it America, be it the UK, look at Winston Churchill, such a great wartime leader. He was good for the time of war. And then look at what we slid into. In fact, leadership, let's take this as a discussion, please. I mean, the wordsmiths are coming later after me. I don't consider myself much of a speaker. We speak heart to heart. I reach your heart, and then you tell me the way you feel. And then you remember what I said. I'm not even trying to sound okay. You see, we look at Winston Churchill, and then we wonder, how did we slide into COVID gate from a country that produced Winston Churchill? How did we slide into COVID gate? In fact, it's become so bad that we are telling leaders, we know you don't have character and we don't expect character from you. Therefore, merely keep your personal life out of the public eye. In fact, if you mess up on your personal life, if you have a party where in the government quarters and then it's all over social media, we are not going to get involved with it because you are entitled to your personal life. When did that happen? When did we say we understand the fact that you cannot control yourself outside the office? When did leadership get split into roles and character? It's gotten to the point that we stopped expecting the leader to be that role model. And we're saying, please just show up at work on Monday morning and do your work already. Because we know that your character is not going to be much that we can follow. In one word, we realize that you have no character. Therefore, just do your work. We are freeing you from every responsibility of being a role model. Please, can you pause and think about that? When did we begin to have leaders that we said, we know you have no character and we don't expect character from you. Therefore, do anything you like on your private time. Leadership has now become a job. Can we write that down? Leadership is not a job. Leadership at the highest is vested in the person. A leader is who he is in the light. And a leader is the same person in the dark as he is in the light. When there are no television cameras on the leader, a real leader is the same person he is when the paparazzi are all over him. But at this point, it has become, we have such an abysmal lack of leadership that we're saying, if you won't embarrass us during the working hours, from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, just do whatever you like after that. We know that you don't have what it takes again as a leader for us to follow your person. Just do the job. No. Leadership. A leader is a role model. A true leader is a role model that you can safely ask your daughters and sons to follow in the dark as in the light. Leadership, the way we lead people, is an overflow, please write this down, of our character. It's not, when we're leading people, we're not acting. It's not a role. If it's a role, we're acting. It is Hollywood, it is Gollywood, it is Nollywood, it is Bollywood. A real leader leads the people from an overflow of his own character and life. There is no dichotomy between a leader's role in office and his personal life. And I ask, instead of holding our leaders less accountable, let us keep the standards of accountability that was handed over to us from the generations before and begin to address the problem instead of lowering the standards. Should I take it again? To address the problem instead of lowering the standards. Address the issue. Why don't we have leaders that we can be proud of? Because we lack continuity. What then can make us have yet another Mandela in South Africa? and all over the world. Succession. Succession. Many times, because of the way we craft leadership, leaders are too busy being stars to groom successors. They're too busy having their egos massaged. They're in the newspapers. They're crafting sound bites. They don't have time to groom the successors. That is when they even have a will to groom the successors. Succession is the solution to transgenerational leadership. Meaning, succession is what makes leadership not end in one generation. True succession is what makes leadership not truncate with the death of the leader. Death is an inevitable end which must come. Mortality is a reality. Can we put it that way? Oh, see, I managed to get a sound bite. The non-sound bite speaker. So mortality is a reality. It will come. Whichever, you cannot run away from it. So it's something to be prepared for. For those who know they have a vision, and the vision must transcend their lifetimes. So we have succession is the solution. Why? Why is succession the solution? Number one, succession preserves success. If you have real success and it must be preserved, you must have succession. We have a saying in the Yoruba ethnicity, of which I'm so proud to be a part of in Nigeria. And it says, and I'm going to try and break it down, a child that is not built is the one that will sell the houses that are built. So inheritance that a lot of us struggle to leave behind for our kids, buy houses in Auckland, buy houses in Sydney, Melbourne. Actually, some also relocate. And when you say why, they say, oh, for the children. The children we do all these things for. If they themselves are not built, they will destroy everything that we built for them. So instead of building castles, building houses, building businesses only, we should make sure that our successors are also built. So it is in succession that you protect the success that you have built. If you do not, I know so many people, let's come down to the familial level. I know so many people, they're rich, they've built this and built that. They're going to hand over to children who play polo all day. Yeah, they play polo. At this time, everybody should be working. They're on the boat. There is no motivation to do anything. They're just waiting for daddy to die. And daddy is taking a while. They never planned it, but they're just waiting for daddy to die. There is success, but there is no succession. Guess what is going to happen? Some person who is prepared for his future is going to buy everything that daddy left behind. Success can only be preserved through succession. Vision outlives the visionary. Succession, number 3, preserves legacy. The greatest inheritance you can therefore give your children in your family enterprise, that is the enterprise called the family itself. In your business, the greatest inheritance you can give. In your business, in your nation, the greatest inheritance. It's not the fact that all foreign debt has been paid. Do you know how many times in my country, Nigeria, the foreign debt has been cleared and we moved into surplus? And the successful leader handed over to one he had not groomed for succession, and we're back in deficit. Mentorship is the vector of succession. Can we write down? Mentorship is that vehicle, is that method, is that technology of the translation of one person's vision, character, values, principles, decision-making abilities to the next generation. Mentorship. Mentorship. What is mentorship? Mentorship is translation. In Awesome Treasures Foundation, which I've had the privilege of leading for the last 23 years, we raise transformational leaders for peace and for advancement. And the real tool is mentorship. Mentorship is the vector. We say we have 3 T's. You are transformed, the transformation. And then you are translated. And then you transform, you transfer what you yourself have been transformed into to others. You catch it, you become it, and you give it. You pass it on. What is mentorship? Mentorship is not cloning. I see a lot of cloning and people think it's mentorship. In fact, some serious weirdness. Fixing your hair the way somebody else fixes their hair, dressing the way they dress. I hear some weird stories, even where I am concerned. People want to do things exactly the way the other party does it. That's cloning. Mentorship is not replicating the outcomes. It is replicating the process. Can I come again? You can look at the outcomes, the product, but what you need at the end of the day is understanding the process. Catching the process is more important than replicating the product. So they said, let me give you an example. Henry Ford, they asked him, if you lose everything, Henry Ford, the man who started the automobile commercially, who invented the automobile on a commercial level, they said, what would happen if you lose everything you have today? And he goes, I'm not bothered. Why? He said, because I can replicate everything that I have today in 5 years. You see, that's the problem with those who steal, who are corrupt, who just enter government coffers and dip their hands into it. They can take the money. They can steal the wealth. They cannot preserve it. It cannot move into the sound change a bit. It cannot move to the next generation. All because why? They don't know the process. They cannot create the wealth they stole again. They cannot recreate it if they lose it. I said, mentorship is not cloning. It's not just do what you see me do. It is understand why I do the things I do. So it goes beyond what we say in Africa, do as I do and not as I say. Why do I do the things I do? I was born in an age where phones were stationary. Then we moved from that age. We had dial phones. And then we moved from the dial phones, the phones we could actually press the buttons, but they were stationary. Then we moved to phones that were bigger than, I don't know, like a foot. And that was a mobile phone, like a satellite phone. They're laughing in the studio. It was what it was. We literally had a satellite with a mobile phone. You set it down. You had a mic. It had everything. I was born in an age where I knew computer students going to the computer lab. It took a whole building. It was a mainframe. They had paper that you punch. No, you don't know what I'm talking about. I was born in an age where you have cassette. You want to record a message. It comes on in a plastic thing. Many of you haven't seen it. It has 2 holes in it. And then if you know what this means, this motion, then you are dated. Because when you don't have a cassette player and you want to quickly wind it, you put a pen through it, then you begin to wind it around and wind it around. And that is it. But now in this age, this same generation, we have everything that was on that, in that mainframe building, fit into this phone. This phone is more powerful than what that mainframe had. What am I saying? We're living in such a dynamic age, so dynamic, that you cannot say somebody should do what I do, because things are changing so fast. I knew a time when people queue up to make phone calls to people who are abroad. Now that sounds odd to you, but they actually would queue. They would queue, they would pay. After the pay, it would be your turn. You could wait 20, 30 minutes, sometimes 2 hours to get to talk to someone abroad who is also somewhere queuing to talk to you. Now you dial here. So you cannot say to your mentee, oh, go queue up at the government agency and we will talk later. At 8 p.m., I'll be at a telecoms building in London. You will be at your own telecoms building. We'll place a call through an operator. They will connect us and we'll talk. No. You leave the principle that we need to talk. You cannot just say, do as I do. Am I making a point? Good. So, replicating your process. And when we talk about your process in mentorship, it is not just what you do, but the values. Can you write that down? The principles. Can you write that down? The decision-making and analytical process that brings you even into that process and into the outcomes that you come into. Mandela said, because Mandela had a mentor, he said his own mentor was his father. You had to know that he learned that from somewhere. His father was a tribal leader. So he would take Mandela with him to the meetings. And the first thing Mandela said was that the first thing they did was that he noticed that they all sat together in a circle. Every tribal leader, they sat in a circle. Come with me, I'm going somewhere. 2, his father spoke last. What I learned from those 2 things. Number 1, they sat in a circle. There was no head to the table. So there was no person who was considered weightier than the other. That's number 1. Number 2, there was nobody whose input was considered weightier than the other. Everybody was important. Making it clear straight away that I expect to hear from you. I tell my people when we're meeting that if you don't say anything, if you don't say anything different from what I have said, then you are not needed in this meeting. So that was clear from Mandela's father's principles. You could see that. 3, I want to hear from you and we are one. It is a circle. We are one. It is a circle. We are one. We're united. There's no break in the circle. He said his father spoke last. Oh, how I know that. Most of us leaders are, look, when we speak, it's like, that's it. It's not intentional. It comes with the authority of the terrain. You speak that way. So the problem is when you finish speaking, most people don't feel like speaking. I'm saying that to the leaders. You're in the boardroom. You sit at the head of the table. Your table is not circular. That's fine. It's rectangular. That's okay. But when you speak, you notice that there's a silence in the room. Nobody wants to be the one that comes against you when you've spoken. So he saw that his father always spoke last. What that meant is that you got the chance to say whatever you wanted to say, even if you thought it sounded stupid because the leader had not spoken yet. So there was no verdict. Mandela had a mentor, but not what he said. Note what mentorship is. He did not say that my father came back from tribal meetings and told me that this is what he did. He did not say my father wrote a book with 5 points on what I do. 5 points to holding tribal meetings. Are you listening? He did not say my father had Saturday meetings in which he briefed me on what to do. He said, I went with my father. I went with my father. Mentorship is caught rather than taught. A lot of mentorship is caught rather than taught. We can't teach mentorship. Mentorship is not coaching. There's a place for coaching. Please note this. Coaching brings out the best that you already have in you. A mentor gives you what you don't have. Why? They have been where you have not been. They have climbed the mountain and looked over the hills and they see the horizon. But beyond that, they've walked in the future that you want. Should I say it again? Your mentor has walked in the future that you desire. I see a lot of people trying to be mentored by people who have not done what they've done. Who have not done what they want to do. I will raise you and make you an entrepreneur. Are you an entrepreneur? Yourself. Is your entrepreneurship beyond this thing you're doing? What do you know about the business that I do? Mentorship is caught rather than taught. A mentor gives you what you don't have. A coach brings out the best in you. I always compare mentorship to a travelator. So I travel a bit and I'm at an airport and I always watch the strong man decide not to take the travelator because they're strong and there are too many of you weak people on the travelator. So they set off and begin to walk fast by my side. I'm not maybe strong, but I'm not stupid. So I get on the travelator and I walk at a fast pace. I have tried this all the time. Never does a strong man get to the destination before me. A mentor is like a travelator, a moving sidewalk, wherever you're tuning in from. And what it does is that it gives acceleration. It gives acceleration. It gives speed to you. It takes you farther than you could ever have gone on your own. It protects you from making your own mistakes as you learn from the mistakes of others. Mentorship. I said it is about transmitting values. Values like integrity, like we don't cheat. So many, just your values. Transmitting principles. Showing you how I make decisions. What are the factors I look at before I make a decision? What are the factors I consider before I make a decision? Versus, these are my outcomes. Replicate my outcomes. Why do I do the things that I do? What are the principles that make me do the things that I do? Mentorship. If mentorship is the key, why don't we have more African leaders, world leaders in America, in Europe, in Russia, mentoring? Why don't we have mentoring being a successful way of life so that we have succession? Why not? Because it takes a courageous leader to prepare a successor who is more successful than he is. I'll take it again. It takes a courageous leader to prepare a successor who is more successful than he is. For some reason, okay, I have a lot of mentees who are psychiatrists, and I've become their psychiatrist and their psychologist. I'm actually very interested in why people do the things they do in human behavior. And I say, I look and I see one of the things people never ever do, never understand, is their own insecurity. I've known a lot of insecure people tell me how confident they are. And the more they say, I'm not insecure, the more I see they really are insecure. They're really insecure. If you feel a need to defend yourself, if you feel a need to justify yourself, if you feel a need to be right, if you feel a need to be acknowledged as right, if you feel a need to be seen to be right, it's not just enough that you've done the right thing, but you need to be seen to be right. We're looking at levels of insecurity. To be fair, disclaimer, a lot of security does come with age. A lot of it also has to do with background. I was having a lively discussion with my 20-something-year-old son last Christmas. And then during the discussion, he was making his point. I made mine. And I said, you know what? It's okay. I don't need to be right. And then he goes, Mom, because he's a bit like me, we're psychoanalyzing. He said, Mom, you know that comes with age. I said, oh, does it? I said, I don't care if you say I'm right or not. I really don't care anymore. I said, in my 20s, it mattered to me that you had to agree I was right. Now I don't care anymore. Say I'm wrong. Say I'm right. You're going to find out later that I'm right anyway. He said, oh, Mom, that comes with age. That psychologically, it has been proven that in your 20s and your 30s, because you want to assert your individuality, it is very key that you make a point that you are right and you be acknowledged as right. But as you grow older, you lose that desire. Hello? You lose that desire if you spend your years growing in the right direction. The only thing that grows with time is age. If you do not invest your life in the right things, you could be 60 and be thinking like a 20-year-old. Chronological age does not make for wisdom. Should I say it again? I am 50, I am 60, does not necessarily confer upon you the wisdom of a 60 or 70-year-old. I know a lot of boys trapped in a 70-year-old body. And I need to put this in place very quickly. And I hope the psychiatrists, the neuroscientists, and people in that field will understand what I'm saying. And I will try and break it down so all of us understand. Many of the issues we have in leadership with insecurity, it is too late by the time it's election time to fix these things. Why? Most of us have a personality formed by the time we're 7 years old. So if a man makes a statement like, when I was young, I did not wear shoes, and he is 55 or 56, he is telling you that do not look at my external morphology. Inside me is trapped a boy who did not wear shoes. He can never outgrow that man. A factory full of shoes will not make him. Understand that. Be calm now, young man. Shoes will be a constant in your life. No. So we find people who at 55 are so low on the Maslow scale. We find people who maybe their mother did not pay them attention. I'm not mentioning the name of any American president now, but you can go Google it. Maybe their mothers were sick for quite a bit of their growing up years, and they had to make up for it one way or the other. So they get into presidency and they are classic narcissists. Classic narcissists. And they have the nuclear codes. Did you get that? They have the launch code of the nuclear missiles that could lead to the end of the world. We've had nations go to war for the mere reason that my father went and was successful. I'm going to look for an excuse to go so that you can also respect me when I win a war. So we're told that maybe certain arsenals exist in certain countries, and we get there, we don't find them. Really, because it behoved the ego of one man to go to war. I have said this, and I think we should take it seriously, that we need to begin to administer psychological tests on the politicians who offer themselves for office. Because a lot are dealing with neuroses and sometimes psychosis. So insecurity is the list of the issues of most leaders. How do you explain a Mugabe staying in office till he's sleeping in meetings? What do you think is going on there? An inability to let go for someone who is better to come on board while he's still alive to watch that person shine. We have seen in my own country, people come into power and make sure that their successors are the two possible weakest people their party has. One physically frail, perhaps the other one intellectually frail. Making sure that you will beg, pray, and plead that they could come back in. Making sure that you will miss them. What did you ask? How did this young man who is now 70-something grow up? Who was he? What fuels his insecurities? It takes a courageous leader to begin to prepare, write this down, for his own absence. Pastors of churches, leaders at every level. It takes a courageous leader to begin to prepare for his own absence. Truth is, either you like it or not, you will be absent one day. If you run a church and you cannot leave that church for one Sunday, leave that pulpit for one Sunday because you don't want others to hear from other, you don't want the congregation to hear from other people, and know that somebody else has something you don't have. You are that cowardly leader I'm talking about. If you run a business and you must monitor everything, even when you travel, you cannot trust a deputy to take over for 3 weeks, 4 weeks while you are on summer vacation. Then you are that insecure leader we're talking about. A courageous leader frees others to be leaders. A courageous leader who is mentoring people, the next generation, to be greater than he is. He provides opportunities for others. You don't get it. Actually creates the platform for others. I have a mentee who wanted to have a meeting here in Nigeria. In fact, I called her and said, don't you think you should have your meeting at so time? It's a matter of record. And she said, she didn't know how to tell me. So why wouldn't I want you to have your meeting? You say you have a mandate to do so and so. I'm behind you. And to let you know I'm behind you, I'm paying for the hall. A good space, an expensive space on the island, one of the best venues. I will pay. I cannot demonstrate better than that I'm behind you. Not only will I pay, I will be there myself. A courageous leader does that. You mentor your successor willingly. You think in generational terms, and every chance you have to be absent, you grab it so you can let them begin to test their wings. This your mentees to fly. And when they begin to do better than you did, you are happy because your vision is secure. Your future is secure. You are happy because what you gave your life to do is secure. It will not die with you. Why don't we have more mentors for mentees? That is the reason. Not many are courageous, number one. Number two, it takes time. It takes time. It's a real sacrifice. Do you know training wheels how many people know tricycles? Do you know those tricycles that convert to bicycles? Mentorship is a lot like that. Google it. The tricycles that convert into bicycles. They are bicycles with training wheels. Mentorship is a bit like that. It takes the security, the confidence of a leader who actually knows they have training wheels on for you, but applaud you as you're riding that bike as if there are no training wheels. And then one day takes the training wheels off. Have you ever taught a child to ride a bike? The way you do it is not by stepping out completely. It is by holding that bike and not letting that child know that you have a hand on the bike. So the child goes, Mom, I'm riding. But you know, I'm holding you. But I'm going to give you the credit. Theodore Roosevelt said, any leader can achieve anything once you do not care who gets the credit. If you are ready to celebrate others for what you yourself achieve, you can achieve anything. I'm closing on this note because especially for the youth of this generation, they're a bit more addicted to praise because of social media, because of stuff like that maybe generations gone by. So anyone who's going to lead in this generation must be effusive with praise. Effusive with praise. But wait, I have seen too many people say they mentor people. Fragile people. And they mentor from their own fragility and insecurity. So all their mentees hear is, wonderful, amazing, you're doing well, fantastic. And they're burdening the world with these fragile, hollow leaders. Yes, I choose my words carefully. I remember one day, I was at a meeting. It was supposed to be a panel discussion. That's part of when I stopped having panel discussions in my country, because the moderators are not gangster enough and they just mess up the whole panel. So we were having this panel discussion. They said we were going to have a 2-minute introduction. Come with me, don't worry, I'm not wasting your time. And this lady and a mentor were on the panel along with myself and somebody else. So once she heard 2 minutes, she turned to me and said, I and my mentor are going to take more than 2 minutes. It's just an opening remark. You don't, that's all you have to do, just opening remarks. You don't need to. And she says that. And truly, I take 2 minutes. My other friend takes 2 minutes. Her mentor picks up the mic, takes 15 minutes. She picks up the mic, she takes 15 minutes. Her mentor has mentored her from the place of his insecurity to be insecure. They both were grandstanding and they both were indisciplined. Write this down. You can teach whatever you like, but you can only reproduce who you are. And that's where I end. You can teach whatever you want. You can only reproduce who you are. It takes time. It takes letting people in your personal space, like Mandela's father, to watch what you're doing, including your errors. Because even from your errors, a good mentee would learn. It takes that sacrifice of the mentor being vulnerable to the mentee. It takes a lot. That is why we have few mentors, real mentors. Many people we call mentors are not mentors. They are coaches. And real leadership means you can follow my character. You can be like I am because you understand my process and you catch my process by actually observing me. Mentoring is cut rather than taught. And we can only reproduce who we are. Thank you so much. I know there's going to be question and answer, so thank you for your time.
Wow, Mrs. A, amazing. I'm going to bring Sammy Kudaya and Wendy Burns too. Wow.
Phenomenal.
Wow. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
That's the word. And you know, a few things. I think I've got about 4 or 5 pages here listed. And by the way, we welcome every single person who's joining us right now from all over the world. We know you're from almost every continent on earth is represented right now. So we're glad that you're here learning, you know, this wonderful, deep gems. This is not about making money and, you know, multiplying your inheritance or your investments and all that. We're talking about influence, transforming our world, changing lives, being a blessing. We're talking about leadership, transgenerational leadership, the priority of transgenerational leadership. Leadership is not a job. Leadership is not a job. Leadership is not a job. You know, and a few other things I caught here is that, you know, I think one of the profound things I caught was that leadership is bound by time. Every leader is mortal. And that, you know, I think one of the things that really caught me was the idea that our mortality should actually give us respect, should inspire us to look and to seek for succession, because the time is short. Our time to really make impact is contracted. And our time is contracted because the opportunities that we have for leadership are not going to be there forever. And our capacity will soon be gone. So it doesn't matter how anointed, how blessed, how gifted, how talented you are. The greatest of the greatest leaders, all right, that lived on this earth have gone. So succession is inevitable. It's just, you know, there's no true success without succession. There's no true success without succession. One of the problems we have is that our leaders are too busy becoming stars rather than raising the subsequent generation. And that mentorship is the vector, the vehicle of succession. And of course, mentorship is something that has become very, very conflated, you know, and confused with, you know, with coaching, with other things. But I like the 3 T's of mentorship: transformation, translation, and transference. Mentorship is not cloning, it's not copying, it's not replicating outcomes, but replicating the process. And I like that, because everybody is different. You are customized the way you are. You are designed to be different. and your journey will be different. I am an Australian migrant, grew up in Africa, and I'm proud I'm bred in Africa. For all the fellow Aussies who are here, all right, yes, I'm a proud Aussie, all right, but I was born in Africa, and that will not change my skin, all right. But the process that will guarantee a good outcome will still work, irrespective of my background or my culture, where or my exposure. I like that. And finally, I think the final point that I would just that really touched me was that your mentor has worked in the future that you desire. Make sure that you
Yeah,
choose
that's powerful.
work in the future that you desire. Well, so many other things. I'll let you, Wendy, just say one or two words just about that, and then we'll bring Mrs. A into the Q&A. We've got quite a number of questions to go through.
Great. Fabulous. Two things that really stood out for me was taking personal responsibility, which is what you opened with. And that's what this is about. And leadership overflows is an overflow of our character. That's what I'm teaching in my VIP session. So it just resonated within my heart. We're talking about the character that's within each of us is who we become. And then that's how we mentor other people. We overflow with others. So there's so much. You catch it, you become it, you give it, you pass it on. All very, very powerful. Thank you so much. And I know we've got lots of questions, so I don't want to take up the time.
Oh, really, really powerful session. Don't even know where to start. But a sentence that really got me, and I think would live with me for a very long time, was when you said that a courageous leader is the one who is able to raise a successor that is greater than him or her. That's powerful. I can only think of Jesus Christ's words when he said that greater works than this you will do. And that just echoed as soon as you said that it must be an intentional form of leadership to raise successors that are better, greater, bigger, and it takes courage. It takes one to be secure in oneself to be able to do that, and that is an instruction for me as well as a big lesson. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, we'll start taking questions now. Yeah, we've got some audio issues there. Yeah, we'll start taking a few questions, but I'll start with one question, Mrs. A. I think you really raised the bar about mentorship today, and I now see mentorship as a very, very dangerous affair. Now, because if mentorship is the vehicle and the vector for succession, can you hear me? Can people hear me?
Yes, we
I can
can.
hear you. I can
It
hear you.
appears that, yeah.
If mentorship is the vehicle and the vector for succession, that means that transgenerational leadership relies heavily on this. And it's not just about what we teach. I like how you ended. All right. It's not about what we teach, but how we live our lives, even behind closed doors, and how that is transferred to other people. So my question is this: how can I, as a leader, find a mentee that I can really? No, I am glad that I can call you a mentor, and I hope you call me a mentee, because over the last 3 years you've been a big blessing to me. All right. And I don't know how you found me or how I found you. That's another story. But I get hundreds of emails every day from all over the world, from people who read my newsletters asking, please mentor me, please mentor me. For all the other people out, for everyone on this call right now, what should you look out for when you want to take this huge responsibility of being a mentor?
Well, I think you count the cost. I believe everybody can get help, maybe, but are you the one meant to help them?
Yes, good question.
That's the thing. You need to count the cost. I've had to come to that decision myself. It's why with age, that it's not everybody I can help. I have found that, for instance, I mentor strong people. Like while I was teaching, a lady said, she's yelling and that's not pleasant. To another person, they might not be able to take that. That was a bit rude. They might not be able to take that feedback because they don't know what's happening with the audio in the studio or why I have to yell. That could disturb their flow. But I'm strong. So I mentor people who can take feedback like that and quickly adjust. Because though she said it in a rude way, I took it as, oh, the audio is now good on the other end. We don't need to yell anymore. The fact that she speaks that way is not my problem. You understand? So I noticed, for instance, it's strong people I can mentor. So I smile at the multitude and embrace the few.
Wow.
So good.
Yeah.
That's
So I
so
can give,
important.
thank you so much, Wendy. I can give love to a whole lot of people, but to be let into my space. And I must let you into my space if I'm to mentor you. Miles Monroe said that he allows his own mentees to spend 2 days with him and his family and actually see how they live. That is the real mentorship. It's not about me giving you sound bites. That's why the authenticity is gone. Is why there is no transference. Because even the person you are giving the sound bite to knows you are not authentic.
That's right.
You need to just count the cost. Who are the people you really think that you're sent to help? Those you can help. But when it comes to mentorship, it is a much strong. I'm not talking about mentorship like, okay, I'm your PhD mentor, or I'm your mentor in, say, Procter and Gamble. No, we're talking about real leadership mentorship. And because leadership is character driven, it is much deeper than that.
Amazing. All right, Dr. Sam, you want to? I think there's a question. You want to ask the question?
Yes. So we'll just go straight into that question. Thank you for that powerful answer to that question. Someone's asking. There are few mentors. How do people go about being mentored? Yes, mentoring does not require physical proximity sometimes, but it is needed. I guess the question is literally, how do people go about being mentored?
Okay. Should I be very honest? Because I think they brought me on a legacy to start with because I'm the frank woman. After that, it gets easier. Okay. You must deserve to be mentored. Why should I mentor you? I too get all those emails. They mentor me. Why should I mentor you? But I get all kinds of things. I'm an amazing mother of three young men, the fantastic wife or something, and the beautiful daughter. And I just write under in my mind, and you're also a narcissist. Why should I mentor you? They are. I mean, when you go into an orphanage for an example, as an example rather, and you want to adopt a child, because mentorship is almost at that level. You go into an orphanage and adopt a child. Who do you think usually gets adopted? The child who is sulking in the corner? The one who is not? It's usually the one that goes this way, the one that reaches out. Something must let me notice you above the fray. Something, you must do something. And usually you serve your way into mentorship. You look for what that mentor needs and you plug that gap. That's when the mentor sees you. And it's usually serving in line either at a personal level or serving the vision. You don't come to a mentor saying, I want this from you, and I take it. Because everybody is taken from a mentor, especially if they're a public figure. How do you differentiate yourself from the crowd? By being another taker and another asker? I want this session to help you, is why I'm telling you the truth. So what do you offer? It is about value delivery. The mentor is going to deliver value to you. What value are you going to deliver? You're not going to pay. You can't really. So what value are you going to deliver for letting me give up a chunk of my life for you? Because we all have only 24 hours in our day. So if I'm going to choose to mentor you, I must see that my vision will transcend into the next generation by incubating that vision in you. If you're not going to be worth that time, I'm putting it brutally. If you're not going to be able to incubate the sacred trust that is being invested in you, why waste the time? I only have 24 hours. Why not choose somebody else? Jesus chose 12 out of the whole of Israel at that time. One of them he knew was going to be a fake. He needed 11 solid people, and we're here today because he chose carefully. He had the 70. Then he had the 70, the multitude. Then he had the 3. Peter, James, and John. I say that because a lot of us have a Judeo-Christian background, including Muslims. There's a Judeo-Christian background. So you can look it up. And usually it's that way. There are people who are very close. Gandhi had his people who could see him inside, his settlement. So it goes that way. There were people very close to Martin Luther King who kept his secrets. Because when I say secrets, yes, a lot of leaders have their secrets, and you need people you can trust around you. Am I helping at all? Am I making sense?
Absolutely. As real as it can get. As real as it can get. As real as it can get. Someone's asking, just in reference to Jesus, when you talked about how he chose 12 people and he chose very carefully. This person is asking, must secession happen when people are almost incapacitated for active service? That's very powerful. That's very interesting.
Can I add to that? I think the question there in my mind is like, can you
when do you begin to raise mentors?
Yeah, but I think some mentors may be worried about actually raising competitors. All right. What if, and that may be the insecurity there, that, okay, if I raise somebody while I'm still in my prime, can they then compete with me in the same space?
There's a bit of an audio problem, but Dr. Nee, what we had said is that, yes, some mentors are not secure enough. And a lot of leaders enjoy the attention to the point that they've become stars. If they started off well, the crowd turns them into something else. You get them addicted. And as a neurologist, you should know that there's a dopamine feedback from adulation. There's a way some hormones in our body react to this thing, serotonin, dopamine, and stuff like that. From the constant adulation and praise, you shower on these people. So if you're already insecure, if you are not raised by your parents or your background to be secure enough that you don't even care what people say about you. Nobody likes being dissed, but you don't rule your life by what people say. That's not where you derive your sense of identity from. A lot of us derive our sense of identity from the likes we got on the last post on Instagram. And that's what also determines what we post. I'm going somewhere. When do you begin then, when you are that fragile, to prepare yourself for your own irrelevance? That's it. Prepare yourself for your own irrelevance. It is difficult. You must be courageous. So there are 2 steps to it. There's mentorship that begins immediately for your succession. And then there is the succession itself. A lot in these days when physical strength is not really needed for leadership anymore. We're not leading people to war. Someone can lead for a long time. Maybe not actively in an office. You could step back from being MD actively to becoming chairman. So once a quarter, you know what's going on there. So you do not have to wait until you are incapacitated until you hand over. You do not have to wait. But if you're a mentee in the wings waiting to take over, newsflash, a lot of people are going to be alive for so much more longer. We have people who are into stem cell regeneration right now. Their brains are dead, but they're still alive, and they're afflicting countries. And I will not name names, but they're there. Do you see? So it's going to take a while till people physically have to resign. But if you're a good mentor and you are interested in your own vision, you start the day you step into office. Because you're going to have a lot of false starts. You're going to think this person can do it and they can't. You're going to think this person can do it and they can't. So the very day you step into office, you scan and begin to think. And that's even management. When we're talking about leadership in the personal capacity, the day you step into that role is when you begin to think, who will take over from me? I hope I'm making sense.
Yes.
I really want to be helpful,
I think we'll go to the next question. And the question is from Toromade. How do you manage loyalty in mentorship?
What do you mean by that? Toromade, very quickly, do you mean how do you manage your mentee being loyal to you or your mentor being loyal to you? Which one of the 2?
I think it'll be probably the mentee being loyal to the mentor.
Are you sure? All right, which is why I say you choose very carefully. You
Yeah.
start early and you choose. Let me tell everybody online now. For every leader, the most key feature they need in anybody's loyalty. I don't know where it came from. Maybe it came from the fact that when people would go to war, you wanted to turn back and see who was behind you. Alexander the Great did not want to go to war and think that he has 5 generals, then turn around and find that there's just one behind him. He will lose the war. So you can make a lot of mistakes with a mentor or a leader of any sort. Do not make the mistake of being disloyal. Do not, because it's something they don't forgive easily. They don't. That is the one thing. Most leaders are choleric, and that's one thing they will not forgive. That you must be loyal. How do you manage it? If a mentee, you test a mentee with little things, little secrets, little truths that don't even matter, and see how they treat it. And with the faithfulness and all. When you see who is loyal and who is not. If your mentee is disloyal, they cannot be your mentee. Because I get the sense that people are looking for mentees. I'm not in the search for mentees in my own case. I don't know, maybe that's the space. So if you don't need to mentor somebody who is disloyal. Let them go learn elsewhere before they damage your life. You have one life.
Amazing. Wendy, do you want to say something?
Oh, I was just thinking you answered that with so much, and so many of the questions that are popping up on the feed. You've said it very simply. Choose carefully. Choose carefully.
Thank you, Wendy. Yeah.
Because this is about who do we bring into that inner circle. When we mentor somebody, we bring them into our inner circle. And that's what we need to do, is choose carefully. And I love the idea, what you said to Dr. Nee's first question was you can't mentor everybody. It's impossible to mentor everybody. And I think that's really important. The other thing, I'd love you just to mention a little bit more about cloning. So many times I've seen in the past that somebody will go to mentor somebody, but they think they're actually cloning another them. See, nobody can be another Wendy. Nobody can be another you. We have to be our own people. And I think that is very important that people realize that.
Wendy, I've seen weird things as a woman, and I'm sure you've seen that. Cloning to the point that you have my hairstyle, you do it exactly the way I do. It's actually spooky. It's stalking. That's not mentorship. It's pure stalking.
So,
yeah. I don't want to go. You have a meeting and you want to have. No. It is pure stalking, and that way you do not allow God to make you your own unique solution. That you are to this life, because we're all different flavors. Even in ice cream, there's different flavors. When you clone somebody else, then that's your uniqueness that you have. You deny this generation of it because you are just a bad copy of Wendy. You will never be as good as the original. You're just a bad copy of Wendy. Do you? That was my last post on Instagram. Just do you.
Oh, and I love that. That's so important, isn't it? Do you, be you. And that's so important.
All right, we apologize.
Do we have any other questions, or have we finished with our questions?
Let's have a look at that. I think
there's another question on there.
Yes.
From Bukalan Damlola Bex, wonderful, amazing couple. What advice do you have for a mentor that introduced a mentee to a place? And in this case, they do the same thing. However, the mentee virtually took over the mentor took over what the mentor's supposed to be doing. And I think that must have continued. Maybe
and doesn't even acknowledge the mentor.
Acknowledge or appreciate, yes.
Oh no! You see, that is why a mentor needs to be secure. You run the risk every day that the door you open to a mentor, she may or he may enter and close it to you. You run the risk every day. That's why I said a mentor is vulnerable. Dr. Nee, can I share our own personal stuff that's not too much?
Yes.
Dr. Nee wants to do something, and he said, oh, just introduce me to whoever will get something. I said, Dr. Nee, I won't just introduce you. I will support it. But he didn't know what I meant. I paid for the venue. And then I've given him my database. You can take them if you like. If you can take, they're not my crowd. They're crowd, or take God. Do not it in a Christian way. I say it in a mandate that we were all created for a reason. And if you believe that there is a divine intelligence, nobody is attracted to you without his or her knowledge. Do you see what I'm saying? Therefore, if there's anybody following you, it's because the ability to have creation or a compendium of practices which you represent has attracted that following. It can't, since you did not create yourself, it cannot be you. If they choose to be attracted to Nii instead, maybe that's what they need. Maybe that's what they need. But that comes from a certain level of security. My wealth is not in the crowd that follows me.
Yeah,
my value is not in the crowd that follows me. A lot of people who are real leaders were not appreciated in their lifetime. So it is in this followership that a lot of us get caught up in, that we think our value is in the numbers. No. One person that is left standing with you may be much more valuable than the thousands that follow another. Wow. I say to one of my friends, I would like all of you, this is a free tip, I won't give you an invoice for this. You need to read a book called The Fortune at the Bottom of the Pyramid. It's by some Harvard graduates, and it just talks about different routes to markets, let's say that. And I was saying to one of my friends, you reach those who are here if we have a pyramid. I am a leader of leaders. You don't lead leaders, you lead the people. So where you have a crowd of thousands, I could have a crowd of hundreds, so to say. Each one of my, that's it, that's the book. J.K. Pearl, exactly. I have like 3 copies by mistake. I love it.
You told me to buy it.
I told
that
you
was
to
one
buy
of,
it. Oh
one
my
of the
gosh,
books you
yes,
recommended to me when I first met you.
But does it make sense to you, Dr. Nee? Does it make sense to you?
A powerful book, very powerful.
Exactly, powerful. So I said, while you reach the thousands, each one of my hundreds have another 100 or 1,000 behind. And we are all doing what we're meant to do. I'll be very wrong to enter your own meeting and count. Wow, she's got 4,000. Of what level of leadership? Oh, you've just got 200. What type of 200? Are they Peter, James, and John? Are they Wendy's and Nee's and Sam Ekundayos? What are those? What can one of those 20 that she has in the room, what can they pull? Which doors can they open? Do you see? So I give a platform to a mentee. She takes it over. I sow it into her life deliberately. Do you get it? I sow it. I give it as a gift. So forgiveness or bitterness, or it does not even come into the question again. You can have it. If I'm offering that much value anyway, they shouldn't choose you over me. If market forces, I know this is brutal truth, but this is what I say to myself to help me. Has she done well? No. Have I done well? Yes, I have. I have made happen for someone what I want to happen for me. Now, what they do with it, that is their problem. We must learn to divorce between somebody else's guilt and bad behavior and our own reaction.
So good.
Wow.
That is so good.
All righty. I think we should go for one or two more questions. There's one here that I think we should really take because it's a question about awesome treasures from Ayomide. How was starting up mentorship in Awesome Treasures for you, Ma? What were the processes you had in place?
Okay, this takes us back to our model and our thinking about mentorship. Mentorship started with me in Awesome Treasures very informally. A group of women that we were serving together and making things happen in Awesome Treasures. And I was noticing traits by coming late to meetings, like college students moving together, in a group and stuff like that. And I began to correct it and put discipline in place until these women began to change and transform. So it wasn't really, I didn't set up to start up mentorship because that is becoming a fad again. I must mentor. What do you do with the mentee? You don't have to have a mentee and you don't have to be a mentor. Because many times I've seen people call a 28-year-old young lady, oh, my mentor. And they would even add things like mama, those who are Africans. I'm like, what is she mamaing? She has not mamaed herself. Do you see what I'm saying? That is not looking down on the youth. But I'm saying someone cannot take you where they have not been.
Yes.
They can only take you as far as they have gone. So if it is to mentor you into landing a rich dude to marry, and that's what she's done, she might be able to do that. But then she cannot mentor you in how to raise teenagers. She has none. Do you see? So mentoring in Awesome Treasures, how by not wanting to mentor, by just being interested in other human beings and wanting them to be a better version of themselves. When we became many, how is it? Till today, it's still the same way. We might have on paper, I'm being blunt with it now, many people say, oh, she's my mentor, or people I've never seen telling me I'm their mentor. I can't be your mentor. You don't do what I say to do. Do you get that? You don't submit to me in a way that I will do what you advise. So, what do we do these days? It's still those who serve that I really mentor at the end of the day, because they're the ones who I can observe, affirm, amend, correct. All these things can only happen if I see you in action. That's the only way I can mentor you. If I don't even know what you're doing, how do I correct you? How do I affirm you? How do I praise you? How do I assure you?
Yes, I love that.
Wow.
So good. That's powerful.
Thank you, Wendy. You're so good for my self-esteem. Dr. Nee, I've told you, you need to package Wendy very nicely. Or either I come to her or she goes to me. One of or she comes to me. But you're so good for my self-esteem.
I think I'm coming to you. I need a change. I'm coming to you.
Thank you so much.
I think we'll take one final question, Mrs. A, before we let you go. You've been kind enough to still be with us here. I actually was looking for another question. All right, this would be more very interesting. Is a mentee capable of correcting their mentor? Like, what do you do when you see a negative aspect of your mentor? Of course, when they bring you into their space, you see their vulnerabilities. How should you handle that?
Okay. There are ways to correct someone who you are drawing value from, because when you remember physics, potential flows from a higher level to a lower. So if you're sharp and you want to remain in that space, you better study who you're meant. I'm just telling you, you might correct somebody like me, and I actually, the people here know in the studio, they're nodding. I welcome the feedback. I want to be corrected. Why? I'm not dead yet. And I still have another day to become a better version of myself. I am a work in progress. Not everybody is like that. So if you know you need that mentor, some you cannot correct at all. Why? You will be thrown out of the circle. And so what do you get from correcting? Two, you want to look, do they want to be corrected? In that case, you do it very respectfully. You call on all your reserves of tact and diplomacy, and you couch your correction as a suggestion. Should I take it again? You couch your correction as a suggestion. You couch your correction as an inquiry. You couch your suggestion as, have we looked at it this way? Perhaps, if you consider. You can't correct somebody who is adding value to you. You can't, not really. You can only suggest an alternative view or an alternative approach. That's if you want to remain in that space. But if you are done and you want to go anyway, feel free to do it anyway. Anyhow, they'll show you the door.
Great answer.
So much wisdom. So much wisdom.
Mrs. A, we've had an amazing time with you today. It's been amazing. All our people, we've got hundreds of people listening on radio, on Mixer.
Thousands.
Yes, thousands of people. Or, I don't know how many. And, but if you're there, you've been blessed, you've been inspired, you've been challenged. And you've felt something, then you should drop drop a word in the comment. One word, just one word, to describe how you're feeling right now and what you've learned today. Please, we'd like to see your comments before we let Mrs. A go. It's been a very, very enlightening session on leadership, on mentorship, being the vehicle, all right, for the transgenerational leadership. And what a way to start, Wendy. What a way to start.
Yes,
powerful,
indeed.
Powerful. My word is I have such insightfulness, I guess, is what I've got out of this, and just powerful. incredibly powerful, and you've set a high benchmark for us now to follow when we speak. So thank you so much. I'm praying we live up to the standard. But it was what a great way to start our Legacy 2022. We are truly, truly blessed for you to give up your time and be with us this evening.
Amazing, amazing. We really appreciate your time, your effort, your courage, and the fact that you tell it as it is. You don't mince words, your delivery, and everything that you represent. We appreciate it, and we're not trying to flatter you. We really mean it. So, on behalf
We
of the
do, really do.
all our volunteers. By the way, Mrs. A, we've got hundreds of volunteers who are behind the scenes right now, who are helping us with this program. We've got another, close to 10 other people in our team who are really helping us. So we think on behalf of all of them, we say thank you to you, Mrs. A, for everything. And on a personal note, for me and my family, you've been an amazing blessing, and I say boldly to every single person watching right now that you've been a blessing. I don't want to say too much, but you've been a big blessing to me in many ways. In your advice, your correction. I remember the first time you corrected me, and you asked for my permission to correct me, because that was when I realized that you really wanted to bring me in. All right, and I'm glad that I accepted the correction, and that I hope I'm in. Maybe not in the inner court, but I'm in the outer.
No.
Hopefully I'll get for that in. But thank you so much, Mrs. A. This is not going to be the last, where Legacy has come to stay, and you are
Yes.
so we're looking forward to having more and more of you here. I think a few people are saying some wonderful things about the session. Let's just put them up on the screen. Mrs. Adenowo, wisdom personified. Come on, guys, team, let's just put this on the screen. Wow, thank you so much, Ma. Timitayo is saying thank you so much. Zeta is saying incredibly authentic. Thank you so much for that. Iwala says you're too much. Come on, guys. Where are the volunteers? That's one of our volunteers. Come on, guys. Give it to me. Make it faster. We don't have time. God bless you.
We've got lots of wisdom.
Thank you so much. Okay, let me just get to the comments and read directly. Beautiful session. God bless you. Awesome. Lots of God bless yous. Awesome. Great sessions. Amazing. Thank you, Mrs. Adenowo. And by the way, Mrs. Adenowo, you can follow Mrs. Adenowo on Instagram. Please, team, can we just put up our Instagram handle there? She has some amazing programs, which is very highly selective. So if you're lucky, if you're chosen to join assault programs, I think she's very selective with it. You will find that very very useful. She also has a foundation called the Awesome Treasures Foundation. If you're in Australia and you would like to be a blessing to this foundation that is in almost all the continents, recognized by United Nations, so there's credibility there, and I'm vouching for it. The Awesome Treasures Foundation has my highest recommendation. So if you want a charity that you want to be a blessing to, you can see me. All right. And we can always get you the details of how you can support Awesome Treasures Foundation. For all the other people all over the world, you can also reach out directly to get the details about how you can support Awesome Treasures Foundation, or send us an email at info@legacyconsults.com.au, and we'll be able to direct you accordingly. So, Mama, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, I'll let you go now. Amazing. Wow, what a day.
Wow, what a start.
Someone said I could explode. Someone said, and I quote, I could explode anytime soon from the loads of value I've got from here. Never been disappointed when it comes to Dr. Nia, Dr. Sam's program, and of course Wendy. Thank you so much, Dr. Adenowo. You are my new mom. I'm not sure how Mrs. A will feel about that, but that's great words.
Amazing.
It's been a phenomenal session. I've learned a lot myself as a mentor to a few people and a mentee under some of my mentors. There are so many things that I've picked up tonight that will change my life and that will change my attitude and approach to succession, both as a mentee and a mentor. And I believe that all of us in the room today, wherever we're watching from all over the world, everything that has been said tonight applies to you from wherever you are in the world.
Absolutely.
Everything. Leadership is universal. Listening to something like this is worth going back to it again and
Absolutely.
again and again, such that you imbibe what you have been taught and become it. And thank you, Mrs. A, for doing that. I just want to shout out to my dad. I saw my dad earlier on. Dad is watching this live. Daddy, I love you. God bless you. That's my number one hero.
Mr. Kundaya Senior. Wow, amazing. Well, this is just session 1. Session 2 in a few hours. All right, session 2 is going to be powerful. And we've got a host of speakers. All right, we've got Samuel Ekundaya and Debola Deji-Kurumi. They will be talking about the core and the creed of visionary leadership. Today was about transgenerational leadership. Tomorrow is about visionary leadership. So we'll be talking about vision tomorrow. All right. And then we'll have Fela Durotoye. We'll be talking about from vision to legacy, how to translate your vision to legacy. So you can't afford to miss this. All right. You can't afford to miss it. Wherever you are, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel right now.
Yes.
Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and click on the notification button. That way you will get the alert when we go live. All right, we've got different time zones. In Australia, it's 6 a.m. Sydney time. For those of you in Darwin, like Wendy, it's 5:30 a.m. So Wendy, you've got to wake up very early. All right, in Auckland, it's 8 a.m. in Auckland. All right, and of course, for those who are in the United Kingdom, Sydney, West Africa, that's 9 p.m. your local time, still on Thursday. So please make sure you check your local times and do not miss this for anything. For those of us in Sydney, it's a very early wake for us. So we're starting at 6 a.m., going live at 6 a.m. All right, vision. It's about vision, the core and the creed of visionary leadership, and from vision to legacy. Session 3 will be a powerful session, all right, as well. Shaping your legacy. You can't afford to miss that. And of course, we've got a VIP session, which is our session 4, VIP Masterclass, all right? VIP Masterclass is really essential. Please, if you want to be a part of this, we're going to put up the link for you to register. All right, this is a paid masterclass, and you'll be having the 3 of us there. All right, it's going to be an amazing time of teaching, of imparting, and also having sort of group coaching sessions. So please, we're going to learn about self-leadership, the neuroscience of leadership, purpose, and clarity. So if you want to have that close contact with us, the 3 of us will be there on during session 4, which is the VIP session. I don't want to mention dates and times because it also costs different times. So session 4, go onto our website, legacyconsults.com.au. You'll see the actual times at that there on the website. All right, it's heavily discounted. We've decided to extend the discount on that particular session. So it's just still going to cost you $99 to register. You get the link. It's not going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on Zoom, on the Zoom platform. So please register for the VIP session. Wendy, do you want to say anything about VIP?
I'm teaching on the power of choice. So we're starting with Dr. Samuel, then comes Dr. Nee, and then I'm going to tail end them with the power of choice. And it's going to be so impactful. And then the breakout rooms of coaching, spending time with us. We're hardly asking anything for you to be part of this, and we are giving you so much value. It means so much that we can impart this to you. Please register and join us, because it will just add even more. It's just going to build compound, and then explode in the VIP session, and then finish out with John C. Maxwell and Dr. Nee.
Yes, the grand finale, John C. Maxwell, okay, session 5. You can't afford to miss that. What a powerful lineup we have for this meeting, for this conference. Powerful conference we have lined up. Now, before we go, all right, we just want to let you know that you can certainly reach out to us as individuals. Myself, Dr. Sam, and Wendy, we're all on Instagram, and the team will put up Instagram handles right now so that we can get that done. Wendy has some amazing offerings. As you know, Wendy is an executive coach. She's based in Australia, but she's global, all right? She's got this amazing book, Remarkable You, A Journey to Discover Hope Within, all right? Powerful book. This is actually a bestseller, and it's even updated. So you should get this book if you want to be remarkable. All right, I highly recommend this book. if you want to be remarkable. Now, if you want to contact Wendy, I'm going to display a QR code right now. Okay, so just go to your screen, whether it's a TV or computer or whatever. You can just do a screenshot of this QR code, scan it, and you'll be able to get in touch with Wendy and get all our other products and all the things that she has to offer. So that will be available. And now for those of you who live in the United Kingdom, if you live in the UK, let me know. Let me know if you live in the UK. I will be in the UK on the 4th of September. All right, I will be in the UK on the 4th of September, and I'll be having a meeting. It's the Neuroscience of Peak Performance. All right, so join me. It's the DoubleTree by Hilton, London West End, Southampton Row in London. It's a hotel there. We've got limited seats, so if you go to this link, bit.ly/neuroperformanceuk, or if you go to my Instagram page or my website, you'll find the details. You can register to be a part of that. If you live in the United Kingdom, it's no cost to you at all. It's no cost. It's a free
100%
event.
discounted. Wow. 100% discounted.
Yeah, just show up. And I would also
free.
If you live in Europe, if you're in Europe, I will also be in Geneva. I'll be in Geneva on the 6th of September. 6th of September, I will be in Geneva, and I'll be teaching on the neuroscience of peak performance, okay? So if you live in Europe, someone told me yesterday they live in Germany, they're going to be flying down. I said, okay, come over, and learn how you can be your best self, how you can improve yourself and improve your leadership. Very essential. On the 20th of September, just to let you know, I will be joined by one of Australia's neuro leadership experts, and we're going to be teaching on the neuroscience of leadership and influence. All right. It's valued at $500, but because you're here right now, listening to us right now, all you need to do is to pay $99. So if you go to my website, niborere.com/products, you will be able to register and get that discount. The neuroscience of leadership and influence. It's going to be a powerful masterclass that will teach you how the brain works and how you can unleash the power of your brain to improve your leadership and influence your people around you. And please do not forget as well, I will just mention all my books. All my books are available: Navigating Change, Vittoria Esata, AGA, and another book, Changing You. I've got one more that's coming up as well, Overcoming. Okay, Changing You is still in the works. You can pre-order that right now, and Overcoming. So all of these books are available. You can get them. They will transform your life. Those are my books. I've also got this course, Brain, Mind, and Change series, 10 modules. All right. If you go to my website, niborere.com/products, you'll be able to get all of this. They're all discounted. Because you are in Legacy 2022, I'm giving a 50% discount on all my products. Wow. Okay, 50%
That's so good.
Just so for during this conference. And finally, I will be starting coaching. I will be starting coaching, right? I'm going to be starting coaching. So if you want me to coach you, you want me to bring the best out of you, how else would you, where else would you go? You want a neurologist, a neuroscientist, a neuroleadership expert, and for those of you who are faith-based Christians, I'm a pastor. You want somebody to coach you. And for me, I have a unique blended coaching and mentorship style to bring out the best in you, to make you the best you can ever be. So I've got exclusive one-on-one coaching, 3 months. I'm going to be working with you to make you the best you can be. I'm also going to be offering group coaching. So if you can't afford to sit with me one-on-one and you want to come in a group, you can put your name in a list. We'll match you together. If you have your group, you can come together, pull resources together, and I will be with you. All right. My job, I've got a mandate. My mandate is to help build leaders that will not just react to change, but create their own desired change. And I'm going to be using that. And I'm going to be doing that using what I have, which is my understanding of neuroscience, my pastoral call, all right, and my desire for great leadership. So I am here for you. I'm here to serve you. If you're interested in being the best, that you can be, operating at peak performance and impacting your world, get me. All right. So if you go to niborere.com/products, you'll get all of these offerings. I'll get Dr. Sam to just talk about what he has for us, and then we'll wrap up.
Awesome. It's been a phenomenal night. And I'm looking forward to the next session by the grace of God. That would be by myself and Debola Dijikrumi, my very good friend and sister. It's going to be a phenomenal time. We're going to be talking about the core and the creed of visionary leadership. And I don't want you to miss it at all, please. I know it's going to be early morning for some of us who are based in New Zealand, Australia, and this part of the Pacific. But do ensure that you're able to make it. Being there live ensures that you have the opportunity to be able to ask questions. I just want to say something about the VIP session. All right. One of the great advantage of having a conference like this is you have thousands of people watching at the same time, right? And you have burning questions that you may not ever get answered. The VIP session offers you that opportunity, valued at just $99, to be able to sit with the three of us here in the room and be able to ask those questions and not just get a quick 2 minutes, 1 minute answer, but to get a sit down answer, the kind of one that will be able to take our time to be able to help you. All right. And you don't want to miss that at all. If you're watching this, you're a speaker, you're a trainer, you're a coach, you're an author, and you're saying, Dr. Sam, I need you to be my coach. All you need to do is go to samuelekunda.com/coaching. I only coach speakers, trainers, authors, and thought leaders in general. I don't coach everybody. Okay, so if you're within that category, whether you're a male, you're a female, wherever you are all over the world, I'm your coach. All right, so just go on right now to samuelekunda.com/coaching, and you'll be able to see everything that has to do with my coaching. I also have an inner circle that you can also be a part of. If you're a speaker, you're a trainer, you're a coach, you're an author, come join my inner circle, a community of purposeful mind, people who are also fulfilling purpose as speakers, as coaches, as trainers, as authors, and consultants. And you will be in that room. You'll be in our monthly hangouts, group coaching sessions, Q&A sessions. It's going to be a phenomenal time. I know you've been blessed, so I'm not going to talk too much about that, but I'll see you guys in our next session. Wendy, I believe that's over to you.
Yeah, I just want to say, if you've just heard the incredible things that Dr. Nee has to offer, and Dr. Sam, they're incredible offerings. If you click on that QR code, it will take you to the opportunity to pre-order my book that's standing behind me, and
yes.
I'll give you 4 options. You have an option to join my newsletter, where I'll continually add value to you. You have an option to go on my list for my new podcast, which is about to start, which is leadership, a new leadership podcast, Leadership RX. I can't even get the words out. I'm so excited. And also an opportunity to be coached by me. So just have a look at that link, see what's on there. I work with men and women, but I have a passion to work with women, to empower the voice of women. So I look forward to hearing from you. What a great evening. What a way to close out, gentlemen.
One more thing, please, if I may. I'm giving away a free book to everyone right now. It's free, completely free. All you need to do is go to legacy.samuelekunda.com. Legacy.samuelekunda.com is totally free. And the book is titled The World Needs You: Life-Changing Secrets to Becoming a Person of Value. Go download it right now. It's in PDF version. Go download it right now. Legacy.samuelekunda.com.
Dr. Sam, I'm going to download that. I need that book.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you.
All right. Well, amazing. What a day. Now, if you're still watching us right now, I would like you to do something. Why don't you just take a screenshot of us right now and just share it on Instagram and talk about today. Spread the word, because the next session 2, everybody must hear about session 1. Everyone in your networks must hear about session 1, and we want them to come for session 2. So take a screenshot right now, and if you're watching it on TV, take your phone, snap a picture, share it on Instagram, on your Instagram stories.
Dr. Nee, give us a second to smile so that they can.
Smile, please. Good. All right. So,
and don't forget to tag us on Instagram when you take that shot, when you post it. Don't forget to tag us. We'd love to stay in contact with you. You'll find us on Instagram. You'll find us on Facebook. Follow us. Let us add value to you. We want to continue to add value.
Yes.
Absolutely. We want to add value to you, and we hope that we can do that when we catch up again shortly. So thank you to all our volunteers, amazing people. We appreciate all of you, all our volunteers. I just want to see, so we want to appreciate all our volunteers. I think they've got a video, of our team has got a video of, have you got a video, team?
Yes, it looks like one is.
Dr. Nee is a foremost leadership expert in the area.
I think there's some technical issues with that. All right, we will have that later. we would have that later.
We'll have it tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, we'll have it tomorrow for sure. Yes. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here with us. Thanks to all our volunteers. I was thanking all our volunteers. All right. I'm going to mention all of your names later. But thank you for supporting us. All our friends, all our mentors, our family, my lovely wife, our 2 boys who have been sacrificing for the last 3-4 days, not seeing so much of their daddy. Thank you to all of you. To the family of Wendy Burns, your grandchildren, all of them. Thank you to the family of the Ekundayos. Thank you. And to the
shout out to my wife, my Dudu Shawa watching.
And also our families, thank you for making this a reality. We look forward to seeing you again shortly. And till then,
9 p.m. Nigerian time, UK
6 a.m.
time, 9 p.m. Yes.
6 a.m. Sydney time. So until we see you again, keep swinging. Keep swinging. So we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Dr. Borire. Dr. is a foremost leadership expert in the area of neuroleadership, neurochange. By the incredible Dr. Borire. Dr. is a foremost leadership expert in the area of neuroleadership, neurochange, and neuroperformance for business executives and career professionals. Some of Dr. life-changing materials are the Brain, Mind, and Change series, which consists of 10 modules from Dr. and other insightful facilitators. Visit legacyconsults.com.au/products to get yours at a 50% discount. Also available is the Neuroscience of Peak Performance by Dr. and one of Australia's leading neuro leadership coach, Kristen Hansen. Visit legacyconsults.com.au/product to get a 50% discount. You can also get 3 months exclusive one-on-one coaching with Dr. or you can choose to join a group coaching call. Visit legacyconsults.com.au/products to book your slot. Finally, you can get Dr. books Navigating Change, Vittoria Ercerta, and Hager on Amazon. And you can pre-order your copy of his new books, Changing You and Overcoming. All products and materials are available at a 50% discount only during this conference. This includes a special masterclass that Dr. and Kristen Hansen will be hosting on the 20th of September, titled The Neuroscience of Leadership and Influence. Visit neeborire.com/neuroperformance for more information and to book your slot. You don't want to miss it. Legacy Conference 2022, hosted by the incredible Dr. Borire.